guys, how are you doing? I'm doing well. The holidays are pretty much over. I go back to work tomorrow for the first time in 2 weeks, which is kind of depressing. Like, I like my job and everything, but yeah, I would just like to stay home and craft all day, which is not going to happen again for another year. Anyway, I'm back. I'm like 20 pounds heavier because all I've been doing is eating, and I wasn't even gonna make this. Like, I put no effort into myself today, but it's been so long since I made one. Basically, I got inundated with orders in my Etsy shop, which is a good thing, of course, but I don't know. I got like some 40 odd orders for things. That's pretty much all I did from Thanksgiving on was work on orders. And I almost didn't even get like my Christmas crafting done, and I was going out of my mind because at the same time I work full time and I volunteer, and I think when people order in an Etsy shop, they think that that's all you do. And for a lot of people that's true, but it isn't for me. And so at the same time I was having to like talk to people and tell them to read my shipping policies, because I do say that it takes 1 to 2 weeks of business days before I can ship things out. So in the meantime, I was having people like, well, where's my stuff? And yada, yada, yada. So that was pretty insane. And I did end up having to go on vacation mode so that people would stop ordering things. I mean, it's a good problem to have, but I was going insane. And then in the middle of all that, my grandfather unexpectedly passed away, which I think some of you probably saw me posting about on Facebook and stuff like that. And I mean, it was unexpected and it wasn't. He had Alzheimer's, and he had just been admitted to a care facility right before Thanksgiving. So he went kind of fast at the end, and we weren't expecting it. So in the midst of all the holiday festivities, we then had to have a funeral, and I had to help my family with that a little bit. So, I mean, that was kind of depressing in the middle of everything, but he loved Christmas. So in a way it was fitting that the church had like all the Christmas decorations up and stuff. So, you know, it worked out, and in a way it's probably for the best too, because I mean, Alzheimer's is a horrible, horrible disease. And I don't know if you've known anyone who's had it, but it's awful to watch and see them go through. And I mean, it's not like the path at the end of the road would have been good for him anyway. So in some ways, it's kind of good that it was unexpected. So yeah, those were kind of like the two major events that happened in the midst of all the holiday stuff. I don't even think I've posted since before I went to Vegas. So then I had Vegas, which was the 2 largest trade shows in our industry and the 2nd largest trade show in, I think, North America or something like that. And that was crazy. And I'm glad to not have to do that I mean, we start planning in January, but at least I don't have to go for another year. That's good that that's all over. Basically, I'm here because I got some really fun stuff for Christmas and I wanted to share with you. And I just wanted to be kind of quick about it because I look like crap and I have like 8 hours before my vacation ends and I have to go to bed and wake up and go to work. So that's why I'm here. So the first thing is we can't forget beer, and I actually have it in a pretty fancy schmancy glass, and I don't think you can even see it. That blows. But basically it's etched and it says Beer Institute on it. You can kind of see it there. And they were etched by my Secret Santa and the TGIF Secret Santa swapped. And that was Margaret of Sheepishly Sharing. So that actually happened the week after my grandfather passed away. And we had had his funeral that Saturday. And I came home. It was like maybe Monday or Tuesday of the week after. I came home for lunch from work the one day and saw that my Secret Santa was Margaret, and that just like brightened up my whole day because I knew like it was going to be fun. So she etched me these cool Beer Institute glasses because my podcast is about beer and I kind of like teach you guys. The beer that I'm drinking is Lionshead Light, which I chose because it is mid-afternoon on a Sunday and I don't want to be hungover for my first day back at work in 2 weeks. Although maybe that would help me get through it in a way. I don't know. But it's Lionshead Light. Da, da, da. And this was brewed actually not far from where I grew up in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. And the fun thing about them is all their bottle caps have like a puzzle that you can solve. So this one, I don't know if you can see it very well, but it's like a week-long calendar and it says the 13th on it and it's pointing to Friday. So it's like Friday the 13th. That one's a really easy one. Some of them are kind of hard, which is like cruel to do to people when you've been drinking. But yeah, so that's the fun thing with all their bottle caps. Anyway, I chose this one because it's pretty light and because it's from where I grew up, and it's just a Pilsner beer, very light, as you can tell. It's, you know, it's like Miller Lite, but it's not. I don't know how to explain it. So there you have that. Moving on to fun Christmas things. So I mentioned that Margaret was my Secret Santa, and she got me a bunch of amazing things. Some of them were decorations that I have like hung around the house, and other things were like yarn and crafty related goodness. One of which is this amazing cat paw bottle opener, and it's like, first of all, it stands up on its own because of the doohickey on the bottom, and it has a long handle, which this was actually on my Amazon wish list. And the reason it was is because if I have the short bottle openers, I always like cut myself because for whatever reason I'm like afraid of it. So I freak out and slice myself open every time. So I went with a long handle, and it's a cat paw. I mean, why not? So it was pretty amazing, and it's black with little pink toes. I love it. Nick and I have used this multiple times, and it works really, really well. So thank you, Margaret. And then she got me this fabulous yarn, which is a Barocco Brio. And it's like, it's puffy, it's thick, and there are sparkles in it, and there's lots of pink. So I feel like, how could you see this and not think it's my style? Seriously. So it's beautiful. And from my parents, I got a yarn swift, so I can actually use that in conjunction with my ball winder. So I'm looking forward to winding this up and working on a project as soon as I'm done with the couple projects that I'm working on now. Like I said, I had like a ton of orders over Christmas, and I'm actually still finishing some up. So once those are all done, then I'm going to be able to start some things for myself, and this is going to be one of the first ones because it's so pretty. It's 49% wool, 48% acrylic, and 3% other fiber, which I would assume would be the sparkles, because yeah, sparkles are not fiber. But yeah, so pretty. I love it. And then and then maybe the best part, I mean, yarn is awesome, but I got a Margaret Made Bag. So, and it's a really nice size, so I can take even like my larger projects with me when I travel, which lately has been a lot because I've been going to visit my parents, obviously, with like the funeral and Christmas and things like that. So I've been trying to spend like some more time with them, getting that stuff all straightened out. So I've been taking my knitting like everywhere with me. So this is awesome. For right now, I've been keeping the stuff she sent me in there so that I could keep it all in one spot to show you guys. But there it is. Yeah. So that was awesome. And she sent me like a wooden nativity scene and a really cute ornament that's on the tree and just like amazing things. I had a really good time. Oh, and what did I do with it? Here. She sent me this pattern book as well. It's Knockout Knits from Laura Nelkin, and the patterns in here, like some of the projects, well, all of the projects actually, are just, I mean, they're gorgeous, and some of them use beads, which I haven't really worked with before but want to, and I'm trying to find one that I wanted. There was one that I wanted to start over my break that I didn't get a chance to, but, and then I have some, like, little, like, beaded, like, sprinkles, and things like that. So I've been trying to find one that I wanted to start over my break that I didn't get a chance to, but, and then I have some, like, little, like, beaded, like, sprinkles, and things like that. So I've been trying to find one that I wanted to start over my break that I didn't get a chance to, but, I mean, they're all just so pretty, and they use such pretty yarns, and they're very all like lacy. These are the mitts I wanted to start. So of course I mentioned lacy, and the mitts I show you aren't going to be lacy at all. But there they are. I just think they're pretty. Yeah. Does that work? I don't know. Those are pretty, and it looks like, what type of yarn? So it's made with worsted weight yarn. She used Lorna's Laces Shepherd Worsted for this sample. So I really like those colors, but I might try to actually make a set for myself, which would include making a hat and scarf that match, because I don't do that ever. So, but if I do that, I'll pick out a color so I can make these match a set. But I really love those mitts. So I think those are going to be like the first project I make out of this. I really like this project. I can't wait to start something from it, and I'm just so excited about it. So there's that. Then, so I said for Christmas I got a yarn swift for my parents, but then I also got yarn, which my parents were excited about because then I could actually show them what you use a yarn swift for. I had brought my yarn ball winder with me because we stopped at our house on the way to their house for Christmas, and I knew I'd gotten the yarn swift. So I brought it with me so the next morning I could show them how it's done. And they had gotten me this Nitpicks yarn. It's Nitpicks, I think it's Hawthorne. Yeah, it's Nitpicks Hawthorne Fingering in the colorway Happy Valley. So, I mean, that's really pretty. So I was able to show them how you can very quickly and easily wind cakes using both, and their cat was just so excited to see the yarn spinning around and around. So we had fun with that the morning after Christmas. So they got me that. Woo! Super pretty. And then they had picked it out from like my Nitpicks wish list because they had like a sale going on, and part of that sale was like they were getting rid of all their Nitpicks Felici yarn. So I put a bunch of colors, but one of them that I put on there was Sorbet, which I thought was like super pretty. And I've never had Felici before, and I can see like what all the fuss was about. It is so soft and amazing, and like it's bouncy. Like you can tell, like you can squish it and it just goes back. So it's probably really great to work with, and I look forward to doing that. So that was stuff that my parents got me. And then my aunt and uncle got me a gift card to a local yarn store that's not far from my parents. So I went there with my parents and used up the gift card on so many things. One of the things I got was this Doohickey. You can ignore the cake. It's attached to one of my current projects, and that's from Knit Crate. But this thing on the bottom, I forget what the name of it is. Do I have? Maybe it is. Okay. So it's called a Yarn Buddy. Yarn Buddies by Sun Valley Fibers. There's the card. They're $35, which is actually cheaper than like the porcelain yarn bowls that they had. So I thought that was great. And you can choose what type of wood you want. So I picked out cedar. So that's what this is. And basically you put your cake on it, and then you can, and it just spins around however you want. So that's been really nice to work with, I have to tell you, because the project I'm working on right now uses 2 cakes. And so one of my cakes is not on this thing, and obviously this one is, and it's so much easier to pull from this than it is the other one, because the other one just kind of like takes off and rolls around. So I might have to buy another one, but they're $35. So not the cheapest, but like about the same price as the yarn bowl. So, and it looks really pretty. Except my dog keeps jumping on it. I'm afraid he's gonna kill himself. But yeah, it's like really well made. It's all handmade. So check them out if you see them around. Highly recommended. I would definitely get that. And then some other stuff I got from the yarn store. It's called Gosh Yarn It, and it's in Kingston, PA. It's like not far outside of Wilkes-Barre. I got, for the current project I'm working on, I needed size 2 40-inch needles. So I got a set of those in Haya. And then to do the shawl, I needed size 4 and 40 inches. So I got those too. They're both Haya, which are really great needles if you haven't worked with them before. Highly recommend the Hayas. And I needed a needle gauge, and they had a couple different ones, but they had one with their logo on it, so I just got that because I figured like the money would go more directly toward them anyway. So I got one of those. That was like $5. And then I got this yarn. It's called Jilly Dream. Sumptuously splendid hand-dyed yarn. The store owner told me that they had just gotten it in, and I hadn't heard of it before, so I got it. Yeah, it's 100% superwash merino wool and comes with 440 yards. And I just thought this one was pretty. They had a bunch of different colorways. The one that she showed me was a green, but for some reason I really like this blue. It's like a bunch of different blues. And I think it's super pretty. Can't wait to work with that. And it does come with like quite a bit of yarn on it, so that ought to be pretty sufficient. And then I got, it's called Wonderland Yarns, Pigments of Imagination. This one is in Cheshire Cat, and I don't know if you can see, but it comes in different shades of purple. So I was thinking I could make like a really cool like gradient scarf, like, you know, start with one color and go around and around and around until that runs out and then go into the next one. And I just thought that would be really pretty. So yeah, I guess this type of yarn is called Cheshire Cat. I think the colorway, I don't really know how this works. So it says Cheshire Cat, right? And then it tells you the type of yarn it is. A sock fingering weight, 128 yards per 1 ounce skein. 5 skeins equals 640 yards. So there's 640 yards of this in a pack, and it's 100% superwash merino. It's hand dyed by Frabjous Fibers, and so I think this particular batch is Down the Rabbit Hole, and it says Jib Jib Bird number 18. So I don't really know what that means, but anyway, one of them is the colorway. I would assume. Oh, it says 5-pack CC Jub Jub. So yeah, I guess this maybe the grouping is Down the Rabbit Hole, and I don't know. Anyway, I really liked it. And this was $35 for this pack. And I just thought like maybe I could make like a really pretty like lace, really long lace cowl or something with it. So I got that. They had a bunch of really like beautiful color packs too. They had one that was more of like a pastel rainbowy. There was a more pinky one, but my mom and I were both really attracted to this purple, which the bottom one was like the color of my bridesmaids' dresses when we got married 5 years ago. So apparently I have something going on with that color. I don't know. Anyway, so that was from Gosh Yarn It. Then for New Year's, the day before New Year's Eve, we went to go visit my friend in Philadelphia. And she and her husband live just off South Street, and there is a yarn store like 2 blocks from their house called Loop, which I'm sure a bunch of you have either been to or heard of before, because for some reason there's a great population of my viewers in like the PA, Philadelphia region. And I've talked to you all about it before. So anyway, before we went out to dinner, we went to an amazing Indian restaurant called Tashin. Before we went there, the guys decided to like have a few drinks at the house, and the girls went to the yarn store, which she doesn't knit, but she knows I have this problem. And I got this yarn pack. It's from Peppermint Knits. It's 100% cashmere, and it comes in a pack like this. And they had a couple different bundles. They had like a blue one, and then they had different variations of this. Like there was one where instead of this green color, it was like a blue and white variegated. But basically they give you enough to make like this really pretty cowl. And I won't necessarily tell you how it's done, but it is knit on circulars and joined. And then, despite the fact that I already have needles like this, I decided to try out the Knitter's Pride Dreams. Anytime I can buy new needles to experiment with, I do. So these are Knitter's Pride Dreams. They're size 7, 16 inches. And they were 10 bucks. And they're pretty. So the only thing I'm not sure about is like they have the short tips, and those kind of drive me insane. I was making a hat, which I'll show you, on circulars with really short tips, and my fingers really started to hurt after a while. But anyway, this was something like 42 bucks, and this particular colorway is called Crazy Redhead. And I think the other ones were called Crazy Redhead too. They just had 1 or 2 different colors, like in addition to this, and they had a blue one, and then they had like a rainbow one. Anyway, those are really pretty. And yeah, I think that's it for all my new yarn. Finished objects, I mean, I have a ton because I had all those orders, but they're all shipped out, and you're probably all sick and tired of seeing the same type of headband over and over and over again. So I will show you this hat that I designed for Blitzy. I just finished it up today. I think I'm going to call it the Winter Waffle Hat, but it's made out of Bernat roving yarn, which is like really thick, and I wouldn't even say like it's like barely plied, so it really is like knitting with just plain old roving. This is the hat that I made with the short tipped circulars that drove me bonkers. And but anyway, it's a really simple hat. Like, I just looked in my stitch pattern book and found something that was like interesting and simple, but I wanted something chunky because now we're really into winter time, and so I wanted something warm. I got the yarn off of Blitzy, which they have on sale pretty frequently. And yeah, so I took the picture today. I just have to like type up the pattern. I have it written down. I just have to type it and post it, and then probably within the next couple weeks it'll be in the Discover section of the Blitzy website. So keep your eyes peeled. It's super warm. I already tried it on, and it's like really stretchy just because of the type of stitch. Like, it's like categorized as a cast-off stitch pattern because of these yarn overs that you pass over all the time. But yeah, super simple and super quick because it's so chunky. And I also did it so I could review the roving yarn, and I really did like it. It splits easily. But otherwise, and I really like the color. The color is teal. So super cute. Yay. Yeah, and then I made some stuff for Christmas. If the pictures are good enough, I'll include them here. If not, whatever, you can see them on my Ravelry page. I really don't care too much. Because like by the end of having to make everything, I was just so done with it that I didn't care. And then as far as what's on my needles, I have what I showed you was attached to my Yarn Buddy. This is from my December knit crate, and it's all tangled up since I moved it over here, which I couldn't wait to work on. This is what I wanted to work on all my break, so I did as much as possible, like when I wasn't reading or playing cribbage or stuff like that. The yarn is really pretty. I think it's Sunrise Fiber Company is what it's called. This one is Jelly Bean, and I forget what this one is called, but it's in my Ravelry stash, which I'll link below. It's like a dark blue with like some very subtle variegations in it, like a little bit of purple. And then this is, or is this Cotton Candy? I want to say it's Jelly Bean though. I think this is Cotton Candy. My bad. But it's like blue with like little flecks of pink in it. So I really like the way both of those look together. And the pattern that they sent it to make what is called the Lapidary Shawl, which looks like this. It's like a honeycomb. You start in this corner down here, and then in every row you like are increasing. And eventually you can see it'll make like a really big triangle. It's hard to tell now, but yeah, that's kind of like what it looks like. So pretty. Yay. I'm on my third repeat of the body pattern now, and I have this much left. So the designer said that she made it through 3 repeats and then like another halfway. So I should have enough for that, I think. It's hard to tell because when you're increasing like that, it's hard to tell how much you'll have left because you don't think you're using that much when you really are. And then when you block it, she said that it grows. Then when you're done, you go around with those size 4 needles I showed and add a border in the cotton candy. So like down here, you're carrying the yarns up, but when you make the border, you'll be knitting over those, so you won't see that. But anyway, I think it's gorgeous. I wasn't really super sure of it when I saw the pattern, but maybe it was just like the colors that were originally used because that's what it looked like. So I mean, like it's pretty, but I love the blue colors that I was sent a lot more. Yeah, the other page that has a picture on it has like the full pattern, so nope, not gonna show you that. Lapidary by Brittany Wilson. So yeah, that's what that looks like, and I'm loving the way it's coming out in like this honeycomb pattern. And then like I said, when I block it, it'll grow a lot. Like you can tell when you hold it up and you like stretch it, you can just see how big he's got as I'm like feeling myself up. But yeah, that's that. And I say I can't wait to have it done, but I'm like really enjoying the knitting process of it. So that's kind of like what I do all day when I'm not working on designs for Glitzy or reading, is I just sit and I knit that and binge watch Pretty Little Liars on Netflix. That's really what I've been doing all break when I haven't been visiting people. So that's pretty much everything. I mean, I've worked on some stuff. You can see that on like my Ravelry project page and whatnot. So now I guess I'll go edit this beast. I'm going to try not to put too much editing into it because day before I go back to work, I really don't want to do anything except for knit and watch TV. And Downton Abbey comes back tonight, so that's exciting. And yeah, I hope everyone just, you know, had safe and happy holidays, and I'm glad that I finally got around to making this, even though I put like no effort into my appearance or recording this or getting anything prepared for this whatsoever, except for pouring a beer, which is much needed. And yeah, that's it. Hope to see you guys soon. I'm sure I will, now that we're back in the new year and things settle down a little bit. There should be a little bit more of a routine coming back to my life. So I will see you all soon. Have a great week. It's been fun talking to you. And yeah, bye.